All right. So, good morning, Richard Learmont. Always a pleasure.
Good morning, Chris Steele. Good to see you again.
My pleasure. So, we're coming into today's space with kind of um, a unique energy, right? You can see I've exemplified it based on, the whole Star Wars metaphor, right? The good, the bad, the dark, the light. The implication of that, the interpretation of that. The
Mm-hmm.
empire, the rebellion. And the polarity, the yin and the yang, basically, that come together to make the whole. Um, for me, my understanding of what the Star Wars metaphor is, there's the concept of the Force, right? So the Force, Jedi warriors wield the Force with prowess, as do the Sith Lords, which are the bad, dark side, you know, um, knights, basically. And those forces come together to create a balance, right? And that's what the force is. It's the balance of
Mm-hmm.
dark and light, right? So let's apply that balance and that context to our reality of today and society we live in. So as human beings, here we are doing our best to do our best and survive, right? And make a living and, raise families and, do whatever we do, right? So as we look at the world has got a lot of beauty and brilliance and lovely color and joy. And it also has challenges and strife and war and conflict, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess what I want to put on the table in the context of this wonderful discussion is, what is the nature of the human essence at its core? Is our nature a core of good and light? Or is our nature a core of darkness and bad and conflict? Let's start from there.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a pretty big one. um, the that polarity that you speak about. I mean, it's from the beginning. From the very beginning. The existence it's been very violent. Us coming into existence. This explosion into being. And I mean, when we enter into this plane, when we're born into existence, it's a kind of a violent, happening as well. It's not the easiest and most gentle, sweet, calm thing. It's a pretty violent experience. And even though it's a magnificent, beautiful thing when the baby pops out, but it's the experience of it is painful, and it's just the sounds, the screaming, the agony, it's that's what it is. And it's always been that this whole uh, polarity between these two, juxtaposition that our existence is, between light and dark, up and down, this and that. It's just it's just how it is. And so yeah, that's what I would like to start with. I kind of went off a little bit.
Well, that's good. So in essence, you're kind of positing that we come into the world with as a vessel of possibility, right? And we're born, right? The soul is put into this meat package that gestates in a womb for 9 months, and next thing you know, it takes its first breath in what's considered to be an act of profound discomfort, right? The infant is crying, and there's the spanking. And then you're born into the world with that, and then of course you immediately are given, put into the bosom of a loving
Hmm.
mother who just birthed, right? And then
Yeah,
the eyes are open and they're
mostly,
closing, and they're,
usually.
yeah, usually. And so in essence, we come into this world with, as a vessel of possibilities, subjected to a world that conditions us, right? And here, by the way, you and I, we live in the United States of America, right? We
Hmm.
are blessed with living in a country that is what it is. We've got
Hmm.
this
We're
experiment,
indeed.
this 250-year-old experiment that they're still trying out, right? This constitution and the constitutional republic and this thing that they call a democracy. And we're still trying to figure it out. And look at our condition of life. We've got infrastructure. We've got our basic needs being met. We've got an abundance of food. We're so blessed, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So as you focus on that, I mean, there's just so much goodness. At the same time, there just seems to be this gravity that I see. It's compelling people to find the badness and the darkness and the conflict and the strife and the drama. Just turn on the TV and all you hear is negative drama and fear mongering and contraction, which I will call kind of a darker essence, as opposed to abundance and light and illumination, right? Which is the other side of the balance of the force. So what can we as humans in this wonderful environment that we were put in with basically 100 years to live, what can we do to best influence that and to be the people that we must be? And I'm hesitant, by the way, to pass judgment. So, because I believe that we must be wonderful light people that are here to create peace and community and, collaboration and, no, not warring, not killing one another, but being collaborative and compassionate. I believe that, but that may not be somebody else's belief in this context. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, we've got so many mixtures of people and bloodlines and crisscrossing and mixing and melding and so many different thoughts. And in this world, in this existence we call the world, or the Maya. The Maya is the illusion. It's in the illusion, man. It's this is what this is the place of the mind. The illusion is where the mind really flourishes. This is where it creates. This is where it comes up with all of these ideas and thoughts and things to manifest, to make into manifestation in the world. It's all an illusion, in that sense. It's all made from mind, what we create here. And the mind gets completely wrapped up into it and identified with it, and like, oh, this is who I am because this, I am an architect, I'm a doctor, I've made this and I've created this and I do this and that, and that's me, thinking that's who we are by the things we create here in the world. But it's not who we are. It's a byproduct, the byproduct, which is, my teacher explains this in a sense, the founder of human design, that who we are really, we have these two things that's going on. We have this physical body. This body itself has its own intelligence. And we have this other aspect of us that's a personality aspect that is totally a separate thing. And these two things, they're very, very different from each other, and they have their own way of how they operate, and they're very different. And then there's this thing that's holding it together. That's this thing that we call the magnetic monopole. The monopole is this thing that attracts. It pulls everything together. It holds everything in the universe together. The monopole. It's holding us all together in this as we're moving through time and space. And so this monopole holds us, each and every one of us individually. We all have the monopole in us, operating as us, and it's holding together these two things: this personality of who we consider ourselves to be, who we think we are, and this other part that's the body's intelligence, and it's holding them together in this illusion of separateness that's giving us, this, between these two things coming together, we're neither one of them, but we are the quantum of the both of them coming together. So that's who we are. It's the quantum of these two aspects of ourselves, you know? And
Wow, I
so,
mean, you really struck me with that, bringing in the quantum concept. The neat thing about quantum reality is that it's hard to understand, right?
mhm.
If you talk about the quantum field and quantum physics and everything, but the fact that you're bringing in this and that, and then a quantum reality, which could be something that is a synthesis of those.
That's who we are.
Yeah.
We are the product of these two things coming together. And so, in how that operates, that only operates in one way. And to be correct, And humanity doesn't quite understand that. They don't understand it, And as we come into that realization and awareness of how that thing works for us, life in this planet will change like immensely. And we're moving. It's here, and many of us learning it and understanding it, and here to share this information. But this is where we are. And so the way this thing works, in holding these things together, we're here to really trust what's going on in the body, and because the body gives us the information of how to navigate on this planet. So this is the key for us, to learn how to navigate through understanding what our strategy is, what's the strategy that's built into our vehicles. And this is what we're here to teach people, and to share with people, through our sharings here. So to learn more about it, you keep checking in with us, come and ask, send us information, and as we develop our relationship and our talks here with people, we'll be offering ways of how people can learn these techniques, these simple techniques, but they're absolutely divinely necessary for us to really shift how we come together in community. And it can only happen one person at a time, though. It's each person has to understand this for themselves, and understand it and implement it in their lives, how to live as themselves, how to follow their design.
And I think that's really the essence of what we're here to do, Richard. It's right now it's you and me coming together, but I think we want to grow this conversation, and we're relatively notorious these days for going live spontaneously on Facebook as a platform, and please join us there. I mean, if you're interested in engaging in this conversation, and I mean, today we're actually providing some perspectives that allow us, basically us as a community, to take ourselves on and to understand some things that maybe isn't normally talked about. So let's do that. Let's engage deeper. Let's expand, and would love to hear from you. Like, comment, engage with us live. So that's, I think, what we're here to do, right, Richard?
Right on. Yeah, we're here
So
to.
I just want to wrap it with a quote, just kind of summarizing the whole thing. The dichotomy, the good, the bad, this, that. It's a parable that I heard, and I think you know this one, Richard. But an old man basically told his grandson, my son, there's a battle between two wolves inside us all, right? One wolf is evil, it's anger, jealousy, greed, resentment, inferiority, lies, and ego, right? The other wolf is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, humility, kindness, empathy, and truth. And so the boy thought about it, and he asked grandfather, which wolf wins? And the old man quietly replied, the one you feed.
Hmm.
So that's kind of my answer in the context of the question, is that I think we get to choose which wolf we're going to feed. Is it that one or that one? Is it good, bad, dark, light? Whatever we want to define ourselves as humans, based on everything you said today, Richard. And I'll just kind of leave it with that.
That's a beautiful ending. Thank you so much, Chris. That's really, really nice.